Kensington and Nemechek, their black car, devoid of any logos on the quarter panels. He's in the top 5.
That's Strickland in that 23 car down the bottom of the racetrack trying to get his lap back. What do you think, Mike Joy? Darrell Walton? One more time. Let's crank it up.
I love it.
Folks, what makes a race car fast, that we saw it in qualifying with Todd Godine's car, you get that nose, the nose of that car, the bottom of the nose sucked right down against the racetrack. Just kind of seal the car and the track together. Notice Tony Stewart's car now when he goes down here in the corner. First of all, you got to get those fenders pulled way out there like he does. But you get that nose of that car right down. See, look at it, right down against the racetrack. That's why he's not pushing off the corner. He's got it sealed off. Now, you're going to get a little bit of lift, and that is minimal amount of lift behind another car as you go down the straightaway. But when that thing drops into the corner, it's just like a vacuum cleaner. It's sucked. Look at it. Looks sucked right down on the racetrack. Gets a little, picks the left front up just a little bit, but that is really ideal conditions for a race car to go fast. Do you agree, Jeff?
Yeah, I sure do, Darrell. And one of the interesting things earlier this week, I was talking to Dr. Who, and that's Ronnie Crooks, the shock specialist on this car, and he told me this past weekend when they came to Las Vegas, they brought 25 sets of shocks to be ready to tune on that race car. That's 100 shocks to have ready so they could get that car tuned in so they can run Lovato. We can see right here that Sterling Marlin in 97 going at it, but it amazes me how well that car stayed on the bottom of the racetrack all day long and keeping that car planted like they have, and a lot of that goes to that shock package they've got.
Yeah, Jeff, you know, getting those front springs soft, letting that car travel down there, and then letting the shock absorbers, while it's down there in the middle of the corner, hold that car down. This racetrack is very smooth. It does just exactly what Darrell's talking about, keeps that front end sealed, keeps that car turning, and helps those straightaway speeds.
Ricky Craven has made an unscheduled pit stop under green. He'll go a lap down as Tony Stewart runs 1.9 seconds ahead of Ryan Newman. What was wrong with Craven, Dick?
Flat left rear tire, and I mean really flat, Mike.
Tough break for Craven, who came in here 6th in the standings.
A lot of cars having a little bad luck. We had just talked about Buckshot Jones before that caution came out. Had worked his way into the top 10, came to pit road, took 4 tires, had a loose lug nut on the left front, had to come back in and restarted this green flag run in 25th position. You can't have the mistakes on pit road, whether it's the driver coming in or whether it's the pit crew.
Hutch Strickland is, he is driving the wheels off of that old Dodge here to stay in front of Tony Stewart and doing a pretty darn good job of it right now.
Should the caution
He's a lap down, but he's maintaining the lead.
Should the caution come out, Stewart will have to wait for the pace car, and that's why Strickland would get the free pass all the way around and be back on the lead lap. And
you can see the distance that they put between the other cars, so he's not holding Tony up by any means.
You know, another one of the cars that elected to come in on the last pit stop and change 4 tires, since it didn't seem to necessarily work the stop before, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8th car, and he's worked his way up to the 14th position. Steve Byrne, what's going on with Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Well, Larry, that's an understatement. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, thank goodness we only ran 15 laps on right side tires, that 2-tire change. He said, I could not make the car turn. Tony Eury said, yeah, well, we were in Vegas. We took a gamble. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. likes the way the car is driving now. Dick Berger.
Update you on Jimmy Johnson's front carrier. Remember last week at Rockingham, he was struck by a car, injured, taken out in the back of an ambulance, broke both bones in his lower leg, also broke his ankle. Pins, plates, screws. Came home from the hospital on Wednesday. He's going to be out for quite a long while. Nice gesture. Mark Martin, who struck him on pit road, called to say he didn't mean to do it. Sorry, hopes he feels very well soon. Jay Lupo carrying front tires for Jimmy Johnson today.
Thanks, Dick. Ward Burton just made a move you can only make on fresh tires, right down on the bottom of the racetrack, 3 wide, and scooted on back and cleared that whole pack except for Bill Elliott.
Well, certainly, Hut Strickland is his teammate, and Hut's holding off Tony right now, and Ward's got fresh tires, and he looks like he's on the move as well.
And he's back on the lead lap. DW is up to 19th.
Boy, that does so much for a driver. When he loses a lap, got a car high down in 2, it's 14 car, but he's okay. When you lose a lap and you get it back, boy, it's such a breath of fresh air. You feel like Superman. I can get them now.
And we've talked about the petty cars and what a good day they're having. Kevin Harvick is not having a good day, and neither are his Richard Childress Racing teammates.
Well, Kevin Harvick, you're right. That none of these race cars has run that well on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick and his teammate Jeff Green in the 30 car fell victim to making those green flag stops early. Robbie Gordon in the 31 looked like he was going to have a good run, but we've been noticing his left front fender has a big hole in it coming off the corner, coming toward us, toward the booth, and that just kills the front downforce. That car will not turn.
Yeah, he's got Tony Stewart's car sucked down to the track. Robbie Gordon's car is being lifted up off the track.
Ryan Newman, Sterling Marlin, second place.
Newman is driving a great race, guys. He and Kurt Busch both. I mean, they're just doing a great job. They don't have a lot of experience, but they got a lot of talent.
You know, I want to follow up on something Jeff Hammond mentioned earlier about the rule change that the Dodges have from a year ago and what that rule change was. Yeah, one thing, they have another year under their belt with this Dodge, which makes a big difference. But what NASCAR allowed the Dodge teams to do right about August of last year is pull the front valence, the bottom part of the front end, out an additional 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and that just helps that front downforce, makes that car really turn the further you can pull that part out.
Yeah, right down in here, the very bottom of that nose has been kicked out 1.5 inches, I think it was, or was it 2.5?
It went from a 1/2 inch to actually 1.5 inches.
1.5 inches, and that makes a huge difference in how much downforce. It's like putting a plow on the front of the car.
Look at this battle right there.
Now, you got to take care of that. You know, you don't want to get to bumping into people and knock that thing back in. You're going to lose your downforce. You're going to lose the front. Your front end won't stick if you beat that thing back up under there.
The front fenders are very delicate pieces on these race cars.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys,
a big difference.
A lot of these guys don't seem to realize that.
Ward Burton marched his way through that pack right there at 19th place. Tony Stewart with a 3-second lead now on Sterling Marlin. With 91 laps to go, we're just about 2/3 distance. John Andretti has scraped the wall outside turn number 2. Gets away from there, but he's damaged the car, it appears.
He's going to have a heck of a time trying to get to pit road because there's a long line of cars coming inside of him. He'll not get there this trip around if he's trying to get to pit road.
He's definitely got some damage. He went down in the corner here. He's up on the outside. I don't know if he's got a tire down. It could possibly be. He didn't really ever hit the wall.
Great save. Run out of racetrack there.
So Andretti continues around. See if he makes a move for pit road. Now here is Stewart, who is up by 2.5 seconds on Sterling Marlin.
He's running about a 1/10 to 2/10 quicker every lap. Stewart is than over Sterling.
Now Stewart is the leading no bull contender. Jeff Burton in 8th in the race is second among those 5 drivers eligible for the $1 million bonus.
Won yesterday's Busch race quite handily. And Jeff looks pretty good today, my friend.
Oh, yes, he does, Darrell. Unfortunately, you know, I hate to say this, but you did pick him, didn't you? He's looking awful strong there, partner. But I want to point out that Jeff Burton, the first 3 times he came to this racetrack, he's won here twice, finished second once. Really likes the racetrack. It may have a lot to do with the fact that he does dominate normally when he's around. He's been very methodical today. Starting back in 39th, he's picked up 31 position. It's challenging to get around Jimmy Spencer as we watch right now.
Let's go to his pit and Steve Burns.
Well, Frank Stoddard, you guys have made a big move today. How have you gotten to the front?
Well, it's all driver. He learned a lot in that Busch car yesterday, evidently. And the Sitco team's done a great job in the pits. We gained quite a few positions there other than the first stop. Cars really just drove real well all day. We haven't had to make many adjustments. I'd like a couple more cautions to get ourselves a little bit more track position. We'd have a shot at them.
All right, thanks, Frank. Let's go to Matt.
Steve, while Tony Stewart's trying to become the 12th Noble 5 winner, the coach, Joe Gibbs, you guys are preparing for 2003. Not only do you have a 2003 Pontiac in your shop, but you're also working on a Chevrolet.
Yeah, we've done some work there to try and compare. We're trying to do the best way we can to get all the information we can. And obviously there's some things that we think we can do to make our Pontiac. And we're developing a brand new Pontiac for next year, but we've also decided to try and gain some information by also building a Chevrolet.
Now, this is not something new. In the past, you've already built a Dodge and a Ford.
Right. Yeah, we've done at different times. We try to gain information. Sometimes you can find things off other cars, so that's what we tried to do.
And guys have also hired Lewis Duncan to help out with that aerodynamic program on that new 2003 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Kenny Schrader is off the pace. Flat left rear tire, looks like.
You can see his tires about to run off. He and Todd Bodine running together there, and I don't know if they made any contact or not here. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, he just Todd cut that tire down with his fender.
I mean, it could have knocked the valve stem off, but it looks like maybe the way the fender actually got into the tire that it just cut the tire itself down.
And then Bobby Labonte gets into the back of him.
And
as Schrader slows.
As he goes by, Bobby, he's waving his hand, telling Schrader, hey, man, I didn't know you had a flat left rear.
Ken Schrader's bad luck continues after another good run. Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, it's as we expected, guys. There is a tire down. You can see the shredding, really, on that left front tire. Of course, they're going to give him 4 and send him on his way. Quite a disappointment. It wasn't that far ago that we came in as crew chief Newt Moore said, hey, congratulations, we're making it into the top 10. Let's try to get back up there and keep it there all afternoon.
That'll be a tall order now that Schrader has gone a lap down as a result of that cut tire. Sterling Marlin now 3.7 seconds back of Tony Stewart as we pass 2/3 distance. Ryan Newman third. And on the move.
How about that Lowe's car? I mean, what an up and down day. Started 25th, worked his way into the top 10, fell victim to the caution that came out on lap 61 after he made a green flag stop, made his lap back up. Now he's up there fighting in the top 10 again.
8th place for Jimmy Johnson. And he is gaining on the leader.
And there's another. To see how that nose is sealed off, sucked down to that racetrack. That makes those bad boys drive good and go fast.
Well, Larry Mack, you talk about maybe not having the best luck as he came in with the green flag. But really, the kid just decided, you know, I only have 3 laps on these tires, but I want to keep up where everybody else is at. So that's why he came back in, took 4 tires, and didn't mind going a lap down. They've made very minor adjustments, just tire pressure adjustments throughout the afternoon. The car's running great. Dick?
Well, Jimmy Johnson won happy hour yesterday, and this morning I asked his crew chief, Chad Knaus, if that was just a fast lap he did. And he looked at me and he said, no, sir. Knaus said this is the best race car he has ever brought to his speedway since he has been a crew chief. Jimmy Johnson, a real strong car this afternoon.
Jimmy Johnson is now 7th if he can complete the pass on Jimmy Spencer.
And that unscheduled stop by Schrader, I mean, I know it's early, but if the thing cycles through, who knows? It could pay off for him because he will eventually be leading this race.
The last card has not yet been dealt.
No, it hadn't, and we've seen all day long, yesterday included, how the guys that have bad luck seems to turn around and help them. There just isn't any bad luck in Vegas. I've come to that conclusion.
Dave Blaney, Jeff Gordon, and Bill Elliott right there at 16th place.
Jeff Gordon, 24. He's had that up and down day as well.
He moved forward there at one time, but they just don't seem to be able to get the car balanced for him. He's either pushing or loose. He just can't seem to find that happy medium. Going to have a couple more chances to do that, but he's falling further and further behind.
He tested